Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm Mitch, and today we're in Republic Square, and we have a very exciting news for you, and that's that we are commencing a new series of videos focusing on the amazing talent pool that Armenia has to offer. And we're going to be showcasing Armenian entrepreneurs, people in the medical profession, scientists, all sorts of interesting, intelligent people in Armenia, and we're going to let you'll see from our videos, we hope, what Armenia has at the moment, and particularly what resources we need and what people we need to come back to Armenia, especially diaspora Armenians, and particularly those who love the country. So stay with us. We're really excited about this new venture. I'm with my team here. They're sitting just over there beyond view, but we have an amazing young team in Brain Gain project, which I'm the head of, through the National Centre of Innovation and Entrepreneurship. So come along on the journey with us. We hope you'll enjoy it. So my special guest for the first episode in our news series is Professor Ani Aprahamian. I hope I pronounced that correctly.
Welcome. Did. Thank you. Thank you, Petros.
Thank you for taking the time to speak with us, especially as we recognise the International Day of Women and Girls in Science on February 11th, coming up this Friday, I believe. Now, for those of you who might not know Professor Aprahamian, she is an endowed chair professor of physics at the University of Notre Dame in Notre Dame, in Indiana, USA. She is an experimental nuclear physicist and has strong interest in the application of nuclear science to energy and medicine.
Today we're at the National Science Laboratory,
which was formerly the Yerevan Physics Institute. And what are we doing here today?
We're going to film.
We're going to film, and we're going to show you all about this magnificent centre. And so come with us, join us for the trip.
Let's go.
So what can you tell us about the room that we're into now? What do you do here?
Let me start with a little backstory.
Okay.
Back at Soviet times, this institute had more than 100 laboratories. So this is like one sample of them. We call it a test lab, which is actually an advanced detector building lab. The goal of each lab was to do some specific task for physics. We experimental physicists, as I am one of them, we take the theoretical part and do the experiment on it.
Oh, nice to meet you.
Nice to
Even
meet you
in Petros.
John.
Petros John.
Yeah.
All right, yeah.
Oh wow.
Whoa, look at this. Wow. Lots of equipment here.
This lab, our lab, they're working here.
Yeah.
Ruben.
Ruben, nice to meet you, Ruben. What do you do here, Ruben?
We are developing production technologies for medical radioisotopes. So I can show you our lab.
Okay, very good.
This is very small, only for research.
Yeah.
We use nuclear reactions to to produce radioactive isotopes. So we irradiate some kind of target material, so we can separate them with a centrifuge extractor. This is centrifuge extractor.
I was going to ask about the cyclotron today, but my knowledge of physics, I'm sorry, is not brilliant.
Let me simplify. We're going to build prototypes, do studies, and share it.
Yeah, good. I understand that part.
Yeah. This is one first and not last. We're going to build more of these rooms.
Excellent.
Everyone is going to be specifically task directed to build some specific detectors.
Things. We are doing so many things. And actually, since I've been director 3 years, there has been an enormous amount of giving and accomplishment and progress. And it gives the local scientists the motivation too to support. They feel like they're not alone. They're moving ahead. So there's a lot of different ways to help us. So right now, the big thing is the museum and the Science on Wheels.
And where would you source that from? Would that be made locally, or is this something highly specialized field that you need to be? We don't have in Armenia.
We in that time we must purchase it from abroad.
Do you have the finances to be able to buy this kind of thing? Or what I'm trying to say is, what are you in need of? Are you in need of some kind of assistance? How can people help if they want to contribute to the purchase of something like this that you're talking about? People, organizations, maybe Armenian organizations, is there some way that they can help you?
You may have heard about us in the news that one diaspora organization is building, helping us with the financing of a 1,000 class clean room.
We must have another building.
Another building?
Yes, with some standards.
Mm-hmm. I'm thinking that the equipment itself, for example, this thick material that you were talking about, would be quite expensive.
These hot cells is about $200,000.
$200,000.
Yep.
Almost the same cost of a new building.
Yeah.
Is there some way in which people who take an interest in your work here at the National Science Laboratory to make contributions, to help in some way?
You mean personal people or?
Personal people, maybe organizations, companies?
Our government scientific committee this year they make more investment in money and in many projects, and we have win a lot of them.
Good.
This is one side. Another, we have Armenian scientists abroad, which are also interested to help us to purchase detectors, or some they invest some money. They started already.
And this is a specific table. It's a rock table. It's very straight, so we're going to do crystal surface studies on here, and it can withhold a few hundred kilos, so we're going to put our prototypes here and do cosmic tests on them.
For example, this one is scintillator detector.
Which is that again, sorry?
Scintillation detector.
Scintillation?
Scintillation, yes. It gives light when a particle goes inside. With that light, it detects the radiation.
Another foundation is helping us buy oscilloscopes and detectors that we can't afford, and collaborations with other universities that are bringing us, like from MIT, bringing us detectors that we can't afford. So the best way is to contact me and we can arrange those things. We are doing so many things.
This one has very good energy resolution. It's much more expensive.
What would something like this cost?
25,000.
25,000 just for that?
Yes.
Wow.
And this analyzer also 15,000, something like that.
So we want to put experiments and have it travel to the villages in Armenia, even to Artsakh. So the kids can have different schools we're visiting can get out and do experiments with their hands. So right now our biggest needs are equipment, scientific equipment, so that we can train our students on the latest discoveries, latest equipment, so they know how all those things work.
Would you say that the level of education in general in Armenia, in the science field, I'm talking primary, secondary school education, is sufficient or is not enough? It needs improvement.
It's not enough.
If you visited today, you see that one of the things we've concerned about is getting enough of an experience for the young people to be interested in science. So we're building this hands-on museum where the kids can actually get equipment. Why is this important? In Armenia, in the last 30 years since Soviet times, basically Armenia's science budget has not been enough to buy equipment. Children in Armenia love the sciences. It's really quite amazing. When you do a poll of elementary schools or the high schools, the kids really love science. They particularly love physics. I think the drop-off is that in university, they don't see a future.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping that with the successes of the National Science Laboratory, they will see that future.
I would say when I had education, it was pretty strong and we learned a lot. So the problem was not that education, the knowledge we transferred, but the rest of what happened with the country, the geopolitical situation. And some people are born just in privileged countries and can start and choose a profession, and some have to fight to get there. So this was more of that. We still have very smart young people, and we just need to build a situation for them where they can strive.
Create the opportunities for them,
This is what's our goal, and this is one of those. So we invite young people to come and join us.
They were, of course, we could also see that they needed the equipment. They need they need this kind of help because they can do so much more. So I hope through this little video, we'll put a link in the description below, how people can contact you, that indeed people watching, or maybe an organization or something like that, can help in some way, and you can maybe guide them into whichever way
I see that children can learn many things. They have very big capacity and
willingness to learn.
Potential.
Well, Armenia has first the potential for it. There is a high level of education. Yes, it has weaknesses, it has faults right now, but it has a high level of education, highly informed populace. So what can a country like Armenia, the only way to become independent, successful economically and every other way, is through science. Science and technology are the only ones that provide those disruptive technologies that can bring a country to the front.
We can encourage the diaspora, particularly those in the sciences, to consider coming back and helping here in some form. We just mentioned there is a big gap in education here, so we need educators at even the beginning levels. So
it's a circle and a closed circle. Yes.
This should come starting from the education. I mean, this is not a problem of scientific organizations. Of course, they try to involve students and to teach and to cover that part which not now covered good in university.
So the education, even at school, and primary and secondary
at
level,
school and secondary,
it needs to be improved. Yes.
Yes, of course. Without that, we cannot. Yeah. Of course, we can involve students, but the level should be appropriate.
Yes, of course.
So we have also a problem there.
It hasn't been an easy path, but part of what I was wanting to come to Armenia was I wanted to say, you know, the path is not easy, but you can get there. And I wanted to show the way, building a team and doing it together. There's another phrase in Armenian that says "Gamkin serken panchipachit." Like if you have the will to pursue something, nothing is impossible.
So I guess in English, where there's a will, there's a way.
Exactly. I've had graduate students from Armenia, and actually they're very strong in theoretical aspects, but they have no experience with hands-on equipment, experiments. So that's where we need. That's where I'm focusing the vision for the lab, of trying to improve that. The cyclotron, I came to Armenia to get that cyclotron working, and now it's been working for 2 years now. Not only does it change medicine in Armenia, it also provides a new machine where people can do experiments, which we didn't have before.
You're a young Armenian man. How did you get involved in science, physics?
Oh, it's a generational thing. My father is a physicist too. I've always seen him, and I always ask the questions. And if you have questions about how universe works, it's one of the good directions to go.
I get the sense that if we had a better education or science education in the schools from the elementary upwards, there would be a lot more people that would be interested in this field in Armenia. If I can just ask one thing on a personal note, I just observed obviously that you're a relatively young man. How did you get involved into the field of physics?
My father was physicist.
Your father.
He worked here, and after him, I'm working here. It's already 16 years.
16 years. Yeah. Wow. Can you tell our audience a little of your upbringing and how you found your way into the field of physics, especially as a young Armenian woman?
Thank you so much, Petros. It's an interesting path of my life. I was born in Beirut, Lebanon, and my grandparents were genocide survivors, and they were living in, my parents were born in the refugee camps in Lebanon. They were next door neighbors. They met each other there, fell in love, and got married. Around our dinner table in my family, Armenia was often the topic of discussion. So we always read the news. My dad read the news and shared with us over dinner. We always wondered about how could Armenia be again independent and its own. And we often wondered how this country with no fossil fuels for energy and no way to protect its borders, how could it be a viable country? So there was an attraction to nuclear science for me all the time. And in university, when I was studying chemistry, actually, my last 2 years of university, I became very enamored with quantum physics and quantum chemistry, and eventually nuclear science. When I took a class, I loved it and decided to go to graduate school to get a degree in nuclear science. So that's the path.
That's the path, yeah. We have something here very precious, and this is also very dear to my heart. We have families. Very strong family unit.
Families, yes.
Continue, please, what you're saying.
Let me tell in Armenia.
Okay.
Maybe.
Okay.
Եթե մենք կարողանանք այսպես պահել ընտանիքները ամուր, սա ամբողջ երկրի ամրությունը կարա պահի, պինդ լինի։ Հիմա շատ վտանգներ կան դրա համար։ Yes, I was in many countries. Sometimes there were very good, very strong families, but it is not in all cases.
Yes.
Yes. So this is one thing that we can show to the world, and one thing that we can maybe teach them.
I agree with you.
While many other things we need to learn from the world.
Absolutely, I totally agree with you.
I never felt at home, even in Australia. Something was missing. But
it's so nice in Armenia that people care about you. You know, you feel like you're actually interacting with people. You know?
Yeah, there was one. I don't know. I presume he's one of the scientists there. Is a younger man. His father was a scientist or physicist. I'm not sure, and I can't remember his name. But we had a little chat on the side, and he was saying what Armenia has is family. What we might lack in other areas, we make up for in family.
I would like to introduce our great scientist Amur Markaryan and Vanik Kakoyan. They did incredible work and created this facility of...
Nice to meet you. Imanuna Petros.
Petros?
Petros. And Garcia. And our cameraman here is Gagik. And in the background there is Rosanna.
You know, when I grow in village, if somebody cannot achieve something, they say, Kezanis Pogos Petros Durshiga.
When I first came to Armenia, when I married my wife, I think 2005 we came for the first time. When I put my feet on Armenian soil, I felt I'd come home. I'd come home. I never felt like that in my country.
When I am going to Europe, I feel the same.
Very good. Mikic, shut. Despite certain problems, the Armenian people are like one big family. For example, you're walking along the street in Yerevan at night. One little child runs away from mummy or daddy. It's not uncommon for us to go up to that child and say, Balas, laves, ura mama papa. And even it's not, I'm going to say this straight out, it's not a sin to touch the child, what I'm saying is to put your hand around him and say, are you okay? How can we help you? This is normal in Armenia, but in the West now, it's almost illegal to do something like that. I can say even from my own country, I just don't recognize my country anymore. From when I grew up in the late 50s and 60s, it's totally changed. And here, I can see something totally different, and I love it. So, if we can show the people, and especially our audience, and even here a young scientist, he's talking about this beautiful part of Armenia. I'm just so happy that you mentioned that.
Thank you.
Would you encourage Armenian women and girls to pursue a career in the science, tech, engineering, mathematics, what's known as STEM field these days?
Absolutely. Actually, in Armenia, the women are amazing. The women and the girls. And the thing is, they take it so nonchalantly. They don't see it such a serious issue. Yeah. A couple of years ago, I gave a talk on International Women's Day at the Institute, and I said, you know, Chinese leaders have said that women hold up half the sky. And I said, in Armenia, the women are holding up more than half the sky.
I agree.
And nobody laughed. Nobody in the audience laughed.
Right.
There had been this German magazine interview of women in Artsakh.
Yeah.
And basically the reporter said, women do everything in Armenia and in Artsakh. It's just that they don't think it's a big deal to be noted for doing that. So women are incredibly bright in Armenia. I mean, as are the men, we have such potential.
Yeah.
But if you really want things done in Armenia, you go to a woman and she gets it done for you. Every successful operation has a hardworking woman somewhere. So I'm a little biased, I guess.
I've got a quote here. If I can quote this from your grandma. She gave you some advice one day. My girl, you cannot have spring with just one flower. And could you say that phrase in Hairen and also just give a little bit of an explanation? I know what it means, but a little bit of an explanation, how you understood that.
Yeah. The phrase is Mek zarigov karun chikar. And that's the collaboration theme that I have taken all my life. I have been very much touched by, first started with the sisterhood theme of women helping each other in family circumstances. Then I realized that that is the secret to success, is collaboration and working together. One person alone, if you do something, then it can collapse on you. But if you can inspire people to do it together, you can have a sustainable achievement and development. And I believe that that part is a little bit lacking in Armenia because everyone has been so driven to be individuals and individual survivals.
I've noticed that.
So that was an amazing experience.
Yes. We got some beautiful gifts.
Yep. We had met some amazing people, scientists, and also the two lovely ladies that showed us around. There's 75 buildings here, apparently, but we only just showed a minute part of that. But it was really, really wonderful, and we hope that you'll enjoy it. Okay.
Professor Aprahamian, Professor Ani, it's been our absolute pleasure to have you as our very first guest on our new program. Thank you for making the time to speak with us today. God bless you.
I'm honored, Petros, and thank you very much. I wish you luck.
Thanks so much.
It's old electronics.
Okay.
From
Great.
USSR.